So thanks everyone for joining us in this next part of the session today. I want to introduce, kind of next up is Chris Twiest. I know I butchered his last name a little bit there, but Chris is going to give us his expert knowledge on microapps, ControlUp, and, in the microapp space, and then we'll be able to, continue on with the additional sessions. So right now, I think we're going to kick off this session, and you can see the remote world that we live in. I'm actually doing this remote from my automobile, as I was in a client site earlier today. But I want to kick off with some CUGC trivia. And so as people kind of come in the environment, we're going to kind of get started next with our actual trivia. Feel free for the trivia to make sure that you're actually answering into the chat. And obviously the person comes up with the first trivia, the correct answer, will win that one, and we'll kind of move on. All right, so first up, the answer, I kind of already put that, CUGC Cooler was one of the answers, or one of the prizes. So here we go as I move through the screens. What year was gold discovered in California? Now, I know, give a couple seconds to answer in the chat here. I should be answering in the group chat. Anyone feel free. I know it's a couple second delay for our side, so I'm going to just pause here for a second. It's a good Google search. It's like 10 seconds. There we go. Actually, we don't. Looks like we're just getting more people in. All right, we're going to move on. Oh, there it is. All right, I don't know why mine was so delayed, but okay. And we're going to move on to the next. Next question is, oh, there's the answer. We'll move on to the answer, and then we'll move on to the question. Oh, that went. Did I pass them too fast? I apologize. Who first discovered gold in California? Is the group chat working? I think it is. And answers. Oh, some close answers there. Couple seconds to let the answers come in. And some more answers in. There we go. And James Marshall, we definitely had a winner on that as well too. All right, so moving on. ControlUp overview. So I'm going to go ahead and pass over the communication right now. Let's see if I can move some of these screens out of the way. And Chris, I believe you're up.
Yep, this is JJ Jordan with ControlUp. How are you? It's all right. So yeah, this is JJ. I'm with ControlUp, and I'm going to give you a 5-second overview of what ControlUp is. And at the end of Chris's presentation or any time, just drop over by the booth, and we can give you a little bit more information. So we've got offices all throughout U.S. and Europe. And, we've got, several large companies that we're partner with pretty much the big makers, Citrix, Nutanix, VMware, NVIDIA, Microsoft. We're also using in several global MSPs. So we, cover a whole lot of the range of, end user computing space and user experience. So what we're going to talk just briefly, kind of what we do, what some of the challenges are in today's EUC operations. So manual, tedious management, so it's finding out how long does it take to get down to that root cause. So ControlUp gives us that ability to get down to that root cause very quickly within seconds. We can look at those unpredictable user experiences. We can trigger on those and allow us to get to the root cause. And even if we're not looking at it, we can actually get that through our triggers and alerting. It stops that blame storm, so it stops the finger pointing of it was your team, it was this team, it was that team, because we can get to that root cause. It actually helps with that long median time to resolution. So that allows you to, again, very quickly, within seconds, be able to find out what the true problem is. And then we also get all the way down, into that process level. So we're able to determine what's really happening in your environment right now, as opposed to, averages or anything like that. So we're looking in real time. So, we have mini self-healing, we have capacity planning, so we can help you determine how far, how much resources you're using, from the host all the way down to those VMs. We've got a community that you can absolutely leverage into. It's real time, that we can literally see what's happening. Every 3 seconds, we're updating our metrics. We have remediation. So once you find that root cause, we can take actions within our console to allow you to not have to go to another console or log directly into the machine. We have automation, again, that those tedious tasks that what the problem is and what the solution is, but it's one of those things that sometimes you just don't want to take that time to really fix it, because how you've already got the fix done, and you just automate it based on a threshold. Benchmarking, find out what your norm is, and be able to trigger off of those abnormal situations. And again, quick analysis, just getting to the root cause very quickly. It's a comprehensive solution. We have a learning mechanism, so we're able to understand what's actually happening in that environment. And so it's organization specific, so we're able to determine exactly where it's coming from. We have actions that we can invoke, whether manual within the console, guided using our virtual expert platform, or even automatic, where again, it just happens based on a threshold, so you don't have to have that user intervention. We can detect events, performance. We can detect it through the logs or through configuration, and then we collect that data through in-guest agents for those VMs and API, depending on which platform you're looking at. So I'm going to give you a very brief overview of the architecture based on our cloud architecture. And what that is basically everything in your environment. We don't have, it's a hybrid cloud environment. So we do have a console and what's called a monitor cluster on-prem, and everything else we host in our cloud. So you don't have to have that maintenance and upgrade headache of all these extra pieces and parts, databases and stuff like that. So again, I just wanted to give you a brief overview of what ControlUp does and what it can do, and then allow you to come over to the booth, be able to ask questions, get some information, set up a demo to literally come over and show you how we can help you literally get those EUC, those in-user computing, that user experience much better for your users. Thank you again for your time. And I'm going to turn it back over to whoever's presenting next. I believe that's, yeah, there we go. I'm going to sign off. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, JJ. Appreciate that. And next up, as the order, got the order wrong in the beginning, but next up we have Chris. Chris, go ahead and come off.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, James, for the introduction, and Daniel, thanks for for the great look at ControlUp. It's a product that I also really love, so that's great. And thank you all for coming to my session, and thank you for spending some time with me. Your time is, of course, precious. So I hope to fill your time very meaningfully by trying to teach you guys something new, or at least something that you can look at and know just how to get started with. So, so great that you're joining my session. My session is called Let's Build a MicroApp. So I got an email about 2 months back asking me, hey Chris, do you want to present at the CUGC XL and do something with APIs and MicroApps, please? So I thought, well, okay, I'm just going to create a couple of slides and then we're just going to build a MicroApp together. I think that that's the best way to do a presentation about APIs and MicroApps. So it's a bit of a knowledge session together with a bit of presentation. So as you can hear, I am from the Netherlands. So I talk, my native language is Dutch, and I try to do my best in English. We call this Danglish, Dutch English. So that you already know, this is what Danglish sounds like. I hope I speak very clear, and I hope that everyone can understand me correctly. So I am a technology officer at Rawworks, and I am also, well, at Rawworks, we are really, it's a new company. We are started 1.5 years ago, and our goal is to make work for the Netherlands more efficient and smart. So, oh, thank you, Just B. My Danglish is perfect. Great. So we want to make people work smarter and more efficient. And we really tied that in with the MicroApp platform. So we went running with the MicroApp platform before day one even. We already started doing stuff with it. So and our customers are not legacy customers. Our customers are all people who want to start working in that new world and doing things with APIs and MicroApps. And we created our own proposition around that and created some cool products and services around those MicroApps. So next to being a technology officer, I'm also a writer. I write on my own blog, workspaceguru.com, and I also write for TechTarget. I am one of the Citrix technology advocates, and I'm also a VMware expert. So, as I told you, I just want to go over a few quick slides, and then we're just going to go into building a MicroApp. So this is a slide that I always show to customers when I talk about our vision. So our vision for the future is, well, yesterday, we worked on VDIs. We all worked with published desktops, users worked with thin clients, and IT were the persons that decided how the users are working. So IT were the main guys. They said, you have to work like this. I even know companies that said, this is the background color you need. This is how your start menu needs to look like. We decide everything. And still, for some companies, this is the best way to do their business. VDI and published desktop can still be great. But what we mostly see, at least, so this is from the Netherlands. So what we mostly see in the Netherlands is that a lot of companies are going with choose your own and bring your own devices. And then they run into a problem. So how do they bring their company resources like application and data to that choose your own and bring your own devices? I don't know if any one of you ever tried to open a Oracle database connection throughout the VPN, but it's pretty bad business. So what most companies are now doing is giving people smart devices like good laptops with Windows 10 and all that stuff, and then telling them, now sign into the published desktop from that device. And what you're then creating is that people are working on a 13-inch screen, especially now during Corona, so everyone is working on their laptops and stuff, and they're working on a 13 or 15-inch screen, and that complete screen is then taken up by the published desktop. So they expect that everything is perfect in that published desktop. But then Corona hit, and now everyone needs to do Zoom calls, team calls, all that kind of stuff. And what we are seeing is that the VDI in that published desktop is not really created to handle all those video streams and stuff. Citrix, of course, has done a great job with offloading Teams, and it works kind of perfect. But still, a lot of companies are telling their employees, you got that Windows 10 device sitting before you, start using Teams locally. Well, the problem then is that when you're using it locally, you have to switch between that published desktop that you boxed in to your local Teams. And that is something that users don't find great. So they find it is not benefiting their work. They see trouble with that. So I got a lot of customers that are telling me, well, everything needs to work perfectly in the published desktop. Why? You gave everyone Windows 10 laptops. Let us do stuff locally. So what we say, the future workspace is, in this case, we're in the Citrix group. So it's the Citrix workspace, right? It's the workspace portal. And instead of giving people published desktops, just give them a button in the portal that says applications, and they can find all the applications there. SaaS, legacy application, local applications, all in one spot. The user will become centric. So the user has everything they need in that one place. And then what we say, on top of that, when you are at that one place, now make that one place smarter. So there has been a big study which showed that normal task workers, so people on a financial department or whatever, or a sales department, are usually using around 7 to 9 applications a day in which they are switching between those applications the whole day. So if you're already in that portal where those 9 applications are, why not take the data from that applications and just throw it in that portal? And that is exactly what MicroApps is doing now for us. That is what MicroApps can do. So your application data, just throw it in the portal, because users do only 2 things. They consume data, or they, the English word. So they consume data or they edit data. So they manipulate data, manipulate and consume data. So that's the only 2 things we do the whole day throughout. So to do that, we can push that through a MicroApp. So what I'm actually going to do is just build a MicroApp very soon. We're going to start. So I got a couple more slides and then we're done. So I'm going to click through out there. So yeah, what we have created at Rawworks, we have called this application as code. And what that means is that stop using all those apps and just talk to them from the portal. For this, we, of course, are working really close with Citrix. We did 6 sessions at Converge. We have one hackathon this year. The first of the year, we are still waiting for the results of the Converge from last week. If we were one of the winners, we hope so. And we work really close with them on the MicroApps department. And we are one of the first companies that have customers in production with several MicroApps that are all custom built. So, of course, Citrix has built-in MicroApp templates that you just can click and can create, but you can also create your own things with APIs. So that were almost my slides. You know what? I'm going to just click throughout all my slides, and then I'm going to just screen share because I just have one slide left. This is something that I'm not going to demo at the moment, but think outside the box sometimes. So if your application doesn't have an API, but there is another way to manipulate and get data from your application. So most applications use a database. So if there is a database, then there is another way, except for the GUI that your that the application creator has given you. You of course also have the database. So you can create your own API around that database. So at Rawworks, we have even created our own database connector that then talks to our API as a service. And from there, we create the microapp. So even legacy applications that don't have SaaS, and where you're calling that software vendor, when are you going to create the SaaS version? We want SaaS, and we want to use it with our mobile phones. And they are like, yeah, well, SaaS is somewhere on the roadmap. Okay, just build it yourself with the microapp. Build the functions you need today with a microapp. And one of the great tools to use with that and to look into that is Azure Logic Apps. That's something that we are using to create our API as a service and our database connection work. So that's kind of the glue between that. So that's just a tip. Look at Azure Logic Apps. And now I'm going to just go screen share, and we're going to go ham on creating a microapp. So I know there is a 10-second delay, but I just want to make sure if you can let me know in the group chat if you see my screen. So I'm now going to fill 10 seconds with Void until I see this in. Of course, I'm not only 10 seconds in front of you. Here it's even the evening. We're nearing the end of the day, so I'm really in the future. So if you want to know what happened the rest of the day, you can also ask that in the group chat. So I hope that someone can please let me know if I'm sharing my screen correctly. So I don't get messages in the group chat. Still does not see screen. Ah, looks white, right, just white, yes. Yeah, so you should see my screen. It should say, have a website on there that says News API. It is a white website. Completely white screen. Oh, then I have not prepared for that. So nothing yet. Maybe click stop sharing. Yeah, I will try that. I will stop the sharing. Let's see. And I'm going to click screen share here again. Oh, technology, guys. So, okay, I've reshared it. Is something now coming? We did test it beforehand. Still see the white screen. Okay, so let me try one thing. I'm gonna completely stop this and I'm gonna start it again, completely from scratch. And I'm gonna play. Okay. So I've now restarted everything. And the only other thing I can do is really quickly go to another computer. Because I don't have any slides left. So I'm waiting here on the back end. We have a team chat. So you guys still are not seeing because I restarted everything.
Yeah, maybe try to refresh your browser real quick. That I had an issue with that earlier. Might freeze you for a second.
Yeah, I'm looking also at the right. Okay, I'm gonna refresh the browser. So now I should be back. Live demo curse strikes again. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna retry the screen share button. I hit play. So do you guys see the screen now? So are you still seeing the white screen, guys, or are you seeing my screen? Much better on the video, but still no, still a white box. Yeah. Ah, okay.
Virus attack. I think maybe it's a virus attack.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do in the meantime really quickly is start up my good old Windows laptop, because I am on a Mac. But I prepared everything on my Mac, and we also did the test. We're also, I see, talking to the help desk, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna try and starting my Windows computer up. I'm not sure. I don't know if you guys still also see my webcam. Or
yeah.
So
no, we
I
see
don't
the
know
webcam.
if. Okay,
I see you.
So,
I see you. Yeah.
So it should be in the slides area then.
Yeah.
There should be the screen share. Okay. Webcam and audio is good. Okay, at least that. So I'm just gonna show you guys how to build it like this with the laptop.
Get that small camera.
So I'm quickly gonna try and sign in from here, and then and then I have to talk twice as fast, I think, to make up time. So be prepared for some really fast talking from me. So let's see, I have to go to my correct agenda. I'm sorry for this, guys. Yeah, we need that button from the magician. Experience technical difficulty. So my Windows laptop is up and running. Now I just need to sign in. So I will be coming in twice, I think, but I'm just not going to start the webcam here. Just screen sharing. The only thing is I do need to reinstall the screen sharing then on this computer. But I also just heard we are calling the help desk of the platform at the moment also. So maybe they can help do some voodoo. Live demos, guys. So in the meantime, I'm trying to get this up, but I'm also wanted to do something. So maybe you can ask questions in the group chat, and I can try and answer them in the meantime, while I'm also trying to install the screen sharing here. So I've just now, please wait. So what are you guys seeing now? I'm curious. Are you seeing my laptop screen?
Yeah, creating your own API. That's what it looks like it is.
Yeah, that's the slide. But I think maybe it's in the. Yeah, what % of Citrix customers are? Oh, now we can see your screen. I see your screen in the media player. Ah, great. Okay. So I'm going to turn off my webcam so that the media player and James, if you turn off your webcam too, I think they will see the desktop perfectly. And then I'm going to talk a lot quicker. So I hope you can see my complete screen. Oh, wait, there it went. Sorry, this is my bad. I clicked it away. So I hope that now my screen is back. I'm gonna start up a browser. I have not prepared anything on this device, so this will be great. I don't even know if I have Postman installed on this device. I do. Okay, great. So, guys, let me shut down my Outlook here and some other stuff. So, sorry for the technical difficulty. I need to sign in with a different account also. So this is fun. I had everything so nicely prepared, guys. And preparation is half the battle. So let me really quickly find my and maybe we can ask the CUGC gods to give me 5 minutes extra to to finish my presentation.
And Chris, I don't know if you've seen in the chat, if it's easier for you to just switch internet, you can, if you go to Chrome, you'd be able to use your other.
Yeah, I'm now here already, and
okay.
People can see the screen. So let's do it just like this. I'm
okay.
almost signed into Citrix. So. No problem. Okay, so guys, let's build a MicroApp. So what do we need for a MicroApp? Well, first what we need is data. So we need an API to inject into our MicroApp. So the API I'm going to use is newsapi.org. So first up, what are we going to create for our users? Well, oh, this is also funny. I have not signed in here. So what you want to do is, with the MicroApp, you want to present data to a user and that they can manipulate that data. So I'm really quickly looking. I got to sign in here. So what I'm going to do in this demo, I'm going to say that my application is this news API. And what's an API? Because that's a good question. An API is just like the internet. It gives you data, but it doesn't have. Sorry, or trying to do multiple things at a time. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So an API, it's just normal internet talk, but it's just giving you data back. So an application can have an API, and you ask that API, can you give me a list of all the users that are in your database, and it gives it back throughout that API. And APIs talk with each other with code, so there is no graphical markup. So there's no HTML page with where all this data is in. So most APIs also just talk JSON, so you get JSON data back. So we can do a whole session on what's an API, how does it exactly work. Just think of an API, it is just the internet, and you can talk to, or just like a website, you can talk to it, but the only thing you get back is data instead of a whole web page. So here we have the news API, and what we want to create is a MicroApp in which we can show news stories to the user, give them a notification when there is a new news story, and also make it that they can search throughout the top news stories at that moment. And luckily, there is a newsapi.org, that's a website, and it generates that API for you. You can get a free API key from there, so you can create an account. So I just used a spam address, I created an account, and I got my API key. So what I want to do is I want to get look at the documentation. So most APIs, especially on the internet and stuff, what I already told you, you can also build your own API. That's very difficult and needs some time. But most publicly available APIs do have good documentation. So the thing I want to do is I want to get the top headlines. And it's just here a endpoint. It's called top headlines. You can see this is the URL. And here you can even see how the API call is looking. So this is my API key. It already filled it in. And you can see this is filtered on the country US. So I got the top news from the US. Okay, one thing we can always want to do with APIs is we want to test them. And what happens if I just paste this into Firefox? Well, here I got a JSON back. But Firefox is not really created to really handle API calls the best way. It is created to just browse the internet. So for that, there is a special browser, and this browser is called Postman. And with Postman is just created to do the opposite. So not show a user graphic, but clearly show the API. So here I just got my URL bar just as a normal browser. I paste in the URL, and the cool thing is that it's automatically from this URL, it's looking at the query parameters. So a URL consists out of a few things. So we just have the base URL, we have the data endpoint, and then everything after the question mark we call query parameters. And then so here we have the first parameter, it's called country, which is US, and then we combine those parameters together with an and taken. So, and what Postman does is you paste this in, and then automatically it will show you what query parameters are in there. So that is really, really handy. So if I now press send, this will give me the data here back in JSON. But there is one thing. So these are only 20 news stories, and we want to fill this for the users with quite a bit of data. So I want 100 news stories. So I can now go back to the news API and just look in the documentation. Is there a way to get 100 stories? Hey, here we have page size. So that is how much it will respond in one page. You also can get more pages. That's called pagination. I'm not going to go over that right now because that's a little bit more difficult. But you can set a page size of 100, and you have to put that in a request parameter. Well, request parameter is a query parameter. So I'm just going to create here an extra parameter. I'm going to call it page size, and we're going to say 100, and I'm going to click send. So now I got 100 news stories back. Wow, that's great. We are having the data that we want to put in the MicroApp. So we're now going to go to the MicroApp creation part. What I guys want to show you is to build a MicroApp, you don't need a license. All you need to do is go to developer.citrix.com. And here you can get a free instance for 30 days, and you can refresh that instance indefinitely. At least I'm thinking, because I'm doing that for months now. So maybe sometime they're going to stop that. But if you go to platform and then the Citrix workspace platform, here it will say, get your test instance. Get it and start going ham on those MicroApps. So if you get it, you're here. You have to set up your authentication integration and that kind of stuff, of course. But yeah, it just works. You get a workspace portal with MicroApps. So we're going to get started with MicroApps. So first we need to build the integration. What's the integration? The integration is the what you need to know is that Citrix caches the data from your API, from that application on their platform. Why they do this? Because every time the user wants to see that data, they don't want to wait until the API gives a response. They want the data now. So the best way to do it is to cache it. So that's also one big caveat. If you don't want your application data cached with Citrix, then MicroApps are not going to work for you at the moment. So what we can do is we can go to templates that Citrix created. Well, that are just a couple of applications. I'm sure News API is not one of them. We can import a previous one, or when we can create a new one custom. So we're going to give this integration a name. So what does the integration do? The integration synchronizes the data from the API to the database that is in Citrix. So the data store that is there. It's called the system of record. We're going to call this News API demo and CUGC. And now we have to fill in a base URL. Tip, keep the base URL as short as possible. So this is the complete URL that we want to get the data from. Then this will be the base URL. So only take the first part. Now we can choose an icon. I'm not going to do that because I have less time. And now we have to set up authentication. Well, this API works with an API key. You have all kinds of different authentications, but this one works with an API key. So I'm going to click API key, and this one works with a query parameter. Just like you can see here, there's a query parameter. You can see it in Postman with my key. So I'm going to copy that data. So I'm going to create here API key, and I'm going to paste in my API key, and we're going to save this. So now all the data loading I do within the integration, so I can create multiple endpoints and talk to multiple APIs, but all of them will use that API key to get the data. So I'm not having to enter that anywhere else anymore, only in the integration. So now I'm going to create my endpoint. So the endpoint is which data you want to get to that system of records, so the cache at Citrix. So we're going to get the top headlines. And now we have to fill in the complete URL. So now we're going to fill in, you think this, that's wrong. You only fill in everything until the question mark, because after the question mark, that is our query parameters. So I'm just going to fill in this stuff. And then here I got those query parameters, just like in Postman. And I have to type those over. I just have to bring them here. So what I'm going to do is country, US, page size, 100. Now I'm just going to click test to see if that calls does something. Well, it says states 200. And if I now click view details, I must see the same thing that I saw in Postman. And you know what? We got it. So that is working. But now I have to tell Citrix what kind of data I'm bringing to Citrix. So I need to tell them what's the structure of this data. Now, we do this by clicking Generate Tables. And the easiest way to do this, if you don't know what kind of data you are getting, how the fields are called exactly in the JSON file, and the JSON file is just a mockup, it is text with labels and stuff, is just click fetch the JSON structure from the API. So it's just going to do another call. And then from here it sees, oh, all right, so I know this symbol is starting an object and this is in the object. And what we're now going to do is, one thing that is a little bit more tricky is, you can see that here is the articles and here is the data that I want. I don't want to show the users this total results and okay, I want to show them the articles. And to do this, we can just copy the word articles here as the root path. So it will skip this stuff and go right into there where we want to be. I'm going to click Generate Tables. And one thing we now need to do is set one thing that is unique about this database. Well, for news stories, that is easy. That is the URL. if it has exactly the same URL, so CNN/blah, 2 articles, then they are the same. So this must be unique. One thing that I'm also want to do is the content. So that's the complete article. Let's push that up to around 1,000 characters can be in there. So you get a little bit more of the news content. And I'm going to save that. And now we're going to click Add. And what it's now going to do, it's automatically going to sync those applications and, the data from that API. And if I now look into tables, here I can see that this is the table that is at Citrix. This is the system of record. This is your cache. And I can click here and view what's in that table. So there are now 4 pages full of stuff. Well, that's great. So now we got stuff. So now we can build a MicroApp. So one thing we also do is we can go back here to the news API and we can set a synchronization schedule. So I'm going to say, well, check every 2 minutes if there are new news articles from that API. And now we're going to click. So the integration is done. We are doing the data loading. And with the data loading, we can now build something that our users can use. So, and one great thing about all these MicroApps is you don't need to know code. This is all no code, low code. It's pasting in an API, doing some stuff. And more, it's just, my colleague always says, it works for me as a mouse clicking professional. So that is really great that works for him. And because it is as easy as that. So the first thing I want to do always is create a details page. So I'm going to go to page, and I'm going to talk really, really fast. So Katie, can you please let me know if it's all right if I take 5 minutes extra because of the stuff? If you can do that for me, then I know how fast I need to talk. So the first thing I'm going to create is a news page, a detail page. I can great. I can take 5 minutes more, guys. So I can go a little bit slower. So the first thing is going to do is we're going to create an article page. So we're going to create an article page. It's a detail page. So I want to see the details from the database. And here it shows which database you want to show. I want to show the top headlines. And which fields do you want to show on this page? Well, let's just do everything. Set fields, add. Well, this is not really what I want to show the users. This is not really looking good. Well, and here comes the power of those MicroApps. So everything is just click and draggable. So what I'm first off going to do, well, I think that the title should be on top. Then the author, then the content. Description is not really necessary. It gives a short description about the article. I don't need that for now. Published ad. Well, this is kind of strange looking, but what we have here is a format button. I can just press that and click date and time. Hey. So that is looking better. The source ID and the source name are the same, so I don't know why I need both, so I'm just going to delete that one. Here we got a URL to the article, but the URL is not clickable and it doesn't know that it is a URL. So we can go to action and say that this field is a go-to URL. Now let's insert a variable. Let's use the database that we just created and use the field URL. And then we have this also really funny URL to an image. Well, here we can just take the image from the sidebar, drag it in, and then say that you have to look for the image in the top headlines cache, and then it is URL to image. And if everything works correctly, I should see an image now. Let's center that and make that a large image. That is developer.citrix.com. What URL did you go to for the Citrix developer resource? Developer.citrix.com. So this is already looking a bit better. So I'm now going to delete the URL to the image. And then we can also create some nice things by going with a line divider. I also like the flexible grid here. So I'm going to fill in a flexible grid. And a flexible grid will allow us to do these fields right next to each other. So all I'm doing is clicking and dropping. And I myself am a coder. I can write 2,000 lines of PowerShell, no problem. But I'm not coding at the moment. I'm just creating. I'm just dragging and dropping. So I now can view the page. So this is the page that the user will see when they click show me the full article in a second. So this is the news article with a URL. So that's great. So now let's give a user something they can go to go through those articles. So we're now going to create a second page, and that is, and we're going to call it all news. And here we're just going to give the users a table to select which article they want to read. So I'm again wanting our system of record. And this time, you know what, just give me a title, when it's published, and who is the author. It's now creating a second page, and it gives me automatically a nice table. You can even see that some of the API call did not receive an author. That's no problem. What we can do here at columns is change that. So don't give me the author, but give me the resource, so where it's from. So the source name, so let's call this source. And those are all filled in, so that's great. So this we can now give to a user, but let's make it a little bit more interesting. I already got 5 minutes extra, so I'm just gonna do it. What we wanna do is we wanna create something that when a user types here, it searches throughout those articles. So I just feel you got here a display and an input. So I just took an input text. And what we now can do is click on this table and set a filter. And within this filter, I can click add, and I can say filter on the title contains the component value. So that's the component. It's now asking, yeah, which component? Well, this search text input component that I just added, and save. And if we preview this, then now we got all these news articles, and I can even search throughout. So I can search for Corona. There's probably something on Corona. And here I got the articles on Corona. But I cannot click on it yet. I cannot go to that complete article with the picture. So how do we do that? Well, we could just click here on use records related to detail page. And then we go to actions. And here we say to which page it must go. So that's that article page I just created. All those pages are created dynamically. So now I got a view details button behind this. So if I'm now going to preview this, this will show me the table. The table is searchable. And by clicking view details, I get the complete news story. And I can even click on the URL to go to that news story. So this is now something that a user can use. So let's go back to our MicroApp itself, because it's still called blank MicroApp. So in properties, what we want to do is we're going to give this a name. So news MicroApp. I can select an icon. So I usually, well, it's news. So let's do a nice bell that there is new news. And here I can say that it is enabled as an action. And this will make it that a user can click on that all news page and get that table. So the last thing I want to do is create also a notification. And what kind of notification? New news. So here I can choose an event trigger. So when there is a new record in my database, I can create a notification. Always think about if you want to use this. I usually use it. This means that after that synchronization that happens every minute, if there then is a new record, it will automatically give this notification. So these notifications we can easily create. We have also the variable, so I can do this. So here we see a live preview of this notification. For the body, I'm just going to use the description, so that short description that's in the this notification. I'm going to select a display image, and it's now asking me again for a variable. So I'm going to use the URL to which that image is. And as you can see, this is now what people are getting when there is a new news story. So I'm going to save this. And now let's assign this MicroApp to our users. So you can see it's unsubscribed, so no users are using this MicroApp at the moment. So I'm going to do subscriptions. And I'm going to assign it to my test account. And I think that this is really the fastest time I built a MicroApp, and I'm now done. So if I now sign in to the Citrix Cloud Portal, and now I, of course, also don't have this password so with me, and I'm kind of at the loss where I left my phone. No problem. So I hope that the password is stored here, and it is not. But my time is also almost gone. Let me quickly find this password. I set it up here. So again, sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. Really great that you kept with it. I just want to quickly show that this is working. So I'm now found the password. And I also must say this is the first time presenting to throughout this platform. So the next time I know I'm just going to use my directly use my Windows device and not my Mac, because that's not working. And so I am almost done. I'm at the end now because I'm now showing that, hey, there is new news. So those notifications are coming and they are great. And then here under actions, we can find our Microapp, so the news API demo CUGC. I can click on this. I can see all those user stories. I can search the user stories. And I can view the details of those stories. So again, I'm now gonna stop the screen share. I'm gonna turn back on my video. Hi guys. So this was just with a simple news API, creating a great user interface for a user. So imagine what you can do with your own applications and your own data, giving it to people like this. So yeah, sorry, it was a bit messy and it was really fast. But the last thing I do want to share is, if this went a little bit too fast, I recorded an hour full of doing exactly the same thing, and it is on my blog. So workspaceguru.com, there is an article there, creating a Microapp, and I do exactly the same. It's also on YouTube. It's an hour and it goes slower, and on YouTube you can even do, I want to do it slower. So yeah, I got one question. So would the Microapp just show up right next to the several published apps in the workspace? Kinda, because the Microapps are are under actions, but they are in the same portal. So people are just using the default published apps. They are using SaaS apps in the portal, and they have those Microapps also in that portal. My YouTube channel is, I believe, also Workspace Guru. So, and there is the complete demo, and you can even tune down the speed. So I think it's about an hour, and it's called How to Create a Basic Microapp. So that was my time. I'm 3 minutes over time. Sorry, guys.
Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate that. That's true technologist right there, just, working on the fly, right? Disasters and putting the presentation together. So really appreciate that. Next up, we have Ivanti. Ivanti is one of the companies that automates IT, security, and operations from PCs to mobile devices, VDI, and the data center. Ivanti discovers IT assets on-premise, in cloud, and on the edge, and improves IT service delivery and reduces risk in the insights and automations. Ivanti is an industry leader in third-party patching vulnerability scanning, and remediation. Very excited that Ivanti has just been added to Gartner's leader quadrant for service management software solutions. And Ivanti has just launched a new hyperautomation platform called Neurons, and Neurons is a SaaS platform powered by advanced AI and machine learning to help self-heal and self-secure devices. So Neurons also provide a variety of administrative and security actions for your entire IT estate, including discovery of assets, data consolidation, reconciliation, remote control, software distribution, self-healing workflows, and integrations with other systems. We're going to take a second here to take a deeper look at Neurons in a video that's provided by Ivanti. I think I probably should have gone one slide over as we were talking about that. I'm going to jump right into the video.
The world is changing fast. The demands on enterprise IT are growing exponentially. As remote working becomes the next normal, with employees working anywhere, anytime, expecting fast, personalized, consumer-like experiences. And with the explosive growth of endpoints, edge devices, and the data they generate, well, the cybersecurity threats are reaching catastrophic new heights. Hyperautomation, powered by advanced artificial intelligence, machine and deep learning, is the only way to rise above these challenges. The Ivanti Neurons are hyperautomation bots you need to transform your enterprise. Autonomously self-heal endpoints and edge devices, anticipate security threats, and self-secure with adaptive cybersecurity, and deliver contextual, personalized user experiences. Significantly improve the accuracy, speed, and cost of services. Our customers reduced unplanned outages up to 63%, resolved up to 80% of endpoint issues before users reported them, Discover 30% more assets, improving security posture. Decrease time to deploy security updates by 88%. Ivanti Neurons, always on, always working. Augmenting your IT teams with automation bots. Detect and resolve issues and security vulnerabilities proactively, predictively, autonomously, without impacting user and business productivity. Self-heal, self-secure, self-service, from cloud to edge with Ivanti Neurons.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining the session today. Thanks for dealing with a little bit of technical difficulties there. Really appreciate Chris kind of working through that. I want to obviously Mike Streets is up next. So if you can go ahead and transition over to the next presentation. Again, appreciate everyone joining today. Hope you're having a great day and some great content. Thanks a lot. Take care.